Yeah, she is.
I am. Yes, I'm here.
My little rock star's already with a new hairstyle that I love.
I love it too. It looks amazing.
It looks amazing. Totally hot. So welcome everybody. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be able to do a combined nation/region Zoom, or soon to be nation, with Ange Evans, who has kindly opened hers up with mine because we have ours on the same night. So I said, you can't have Sandra if I'm training. So we decided to share Sandra amongst us. So when I was in New Zealand with Sandra and just listening to her professionalism and her expertise on skincare and makeup and the do's and don'ts and a lot of things that, you know, so many of us probably don't know. I asked her then to do a training, our next Zoom training on product training, and when we realised that Andrew done the same thing, what better way to be able to do this together, because we already do lots of stuff together between us, so it was just an open extension to every single one of you. So thank you. And you know, jump on July, because this is a really exciting month now, you guys, to set your goals in the sand and to make the next 6 months, 5 months.
Marilyn,
and I just want to reiterate as well. Yeah.
Darling, just can everyone please mute themselves?
Yes, I was about to say that. Because as people are jumping on, it's a little bit distracting.
Yeah.
Now, I won't be able to be on for the whole call because I have 2 things to do. So it was even more exciting because I was actually going to get Sandra and April to run this one for me. So it's even better that we've amalgamated, like I said. So you only see me for the next 20 and then I'm out. But we are recording, aren't we, Ange?
Yep.
Awesome. It's funny being on this end with my ID number. So without further, so like I said, you know, the next 5 months, the next actual 3 months, work towards whatever it is that you've decided to do this year, and it is a decision to go for area, region, nation. Make that happen now. We are in the best possible momentum to be able to do that. July, August, and September. So what happens this month is crucial for setting you up for next month and the month after. And they've just extended for AAC. If you want to walk that stage, it was supposed to be at the end of June cut off. They've actually extended that to 31 July. Now, 31 July also has 5 weekends. I don't know how many of you are aware of that, but 5 weekends in 1 month, that's a bonus weekend. That's a bonus week. It really is exciting to be able to set those foundations strong now. You know, fill those diaries. For those of you that haven't sent your strategies through, can you please do that to me ASAP that I work with, or to the direct uplines that you work with. Those that work directly with me, you know who you are, so I need those. And I'm sure Anne if is saying the same thing on her end, right, Ange?
Right.
Have you got every single one of your strategies sent over?
I'm waiting.
Okay, so that's why. Can we do that at end of today, tops? You know, the 4th of the month. Really, it's nearly end of 1 week. So we want to get that done and in place today, because those that fail to plan to fail, and we know that. And I am going to come down heavy on that, because I think we need to take responsibility as multi-million-dollar business owners that's just part of the deal. That's just part of where we're going, and it helps you to adhere to your goals when you have it in writing. 80% of people that write things down end up achieving what they write. Those that just go, oh no, it's in my head, or I know what I have to do. It's the same as last month. All of that doesn't give you focus or sustainability, really. So it's when we write them down, we have a plan of action and how to follow that. So it's crucial. So like I said, those of you that work with me, those of you that work with Ange, please send through those strategies. You have till tonight. Bottom line. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Ange, because like I said, I'm going to go soon. So I'm going to pass it over to Ange that will then introduce beautiful Sandra.
Thanks, Marilena. Lovely to hear from you and see you as well. And it's so nice to have everybody here together. It's so great to see everyone's beautiful faces. I love seeing everyone again. I hope I have to scroll through all the little squares and wave to everyone individually. But I'm so thrilled to be doing this. And I actually, when I was over in New Zealand with Marilena as well, and Sandra was over there, and April and Katie, and I was talking to Sandra, you know, a bit about our skincare, and actually rang around when we were over there and said, "Can you please help me out, you know, with a query that I had." for a new person, and she was so incredibly helpful. And then last week when we were talking to our beautiful New Zealand consultants, because they're also an hour, 3 hours ahead of us, so that's why we're doing it this time. Annie actually said, you know, why don't we get Sandra to do a training for us? So I just love the collaboration and the teamwork from every single person. So what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to get gorgeous executive area manager Sandra Young to train on skincare and different skin types and how Arbonne fits into those different areas. And then after she's finished, I'm then going to take over and do a big group training, and everybody is actually welcome today from my team and Marilena's team as well. And I am going to be going through setting yourself up for this month and what that can mean for the rest of the year, and really locking in and knowing your numbers and locking into the incentives that you know what to do. So that's what's going to come afterwards. So definitely stick around for that. So Sandra, we so value your time and your expertise and your generosity in doing this. So thank you so much. So just to get going, I think we might just hand over to you. Where is Sandra gone?
Sandra. Okay, Sandra's left the house.
She was here a minute ago. Where's she gone?
Oh, gorgeous girl's gone. Just ring her. Hang on, give me 2 seconds.
Did you not see her there 2 seconds ago?
Yeah, she was there.
I'm sure she'll be back on. Anyway, if you have not done your
Trying to go to the toilet.
yet and you need time, I would be taking these 30 seconds to make use of that time and start writing down your strategy and where you want to be. She just had to do that. Oh, there she's down the bottom. Hi. Okay, darling, over to you.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. My internet connection dropped out. It's got good timing, hasn't it? So I'll just get rid of this screen. Okay, so I'm on now. Yes. Okay, I missed all my introduction, but I'm sure it was lovely because Ange, you're a beautiful girl. I know you would have given me a lovely introduction. So I'm just going to find my link. Oh, now the link's not showing up. It's doing good. I'll just put it on this one. Okay. Okay, hi everybody. I'm Sandra Young, and I'm sure Ange told you that I'm a qualified beautician. But what I love about Arbonne is you don't have to be a beautician. You just have to fall in love with the products and know that we have the best business model possible, and of course a belief in ourselves that we can do this. So tonight I'm going to use the product training manual that we have, and we've muted you all now, but you can let me know later if you've had access to it. You just go to the source, pop in product knowledge training manual, and download the PDF file. You can print it off if you wish. I've printed mine off in a smaller file so that I can access it easy to read.
Go on.
But it's absolutely fantastic.
Lovely. Give me kisses. I'll be upstairs.
I can hear some talking somewhere. Somebody, not sure what's going on there. Okay. What's happening here? Okay. Sorry about that. Got a bit of talking going on. Okay, so I'm going to use the manual to train you on tonight. And can everybody hear me? Maybe give me a wave. Those that can hear me, good. Okay. So choosing the right Arbonne product. Okay. Maybe it's still not muted for some of you. For those that aren't muted, if you can mute, that would be fantastic because I keep getting...
I think I can hear April coming on.
Oh, is it? Okay, it's just people coming on. Okay, great.
Debbie, can you please mute, darling? Debbie Ansell, Lucy, Elaine, Beck, Tammy.
Kieran, how do I mute but still hear?
It's this bottom left-hand corner. There's a little mute button. You just need to click on it.
And you can mute everybody, but do it you on your end. Just mute everybody bar Sandra, and then just unclick Sandra's name. You've got access to that at the top of the screen.
All right, well, it's nice and quiet. I think I'll get started. Okay, so as I was saying before, this product manual's got everything we really need to know, and it's nothing better than our own personal experience with the products that helps us to be able to have that belief system in the products. We have the best products in the world, no doubt. As Angie mentioned, I am a beautician and I have been for 30 years, and I have used the best of the best. And I can tell you there's nothing that compares to Arbonne. Their delivery system is what sets us apart from anyone else. If you used in even Le Mer or any other of the beautiful Swiss products that are out there on the marketplace, they still have fillers like lanolin, beeswax, animal fat, you name it, it's in there. Our system is designed to give us the best of nature and science, and it's the delivery system that's second to none that allows it to travel where it needs to go. And I'm going to talk a bit more about that when I talk about skin structure. So I fell in love with the products just like any one of you, just by trying it. And I can honestly say my eyes were better in 24 hours, and I had used the best eye creams that I could have access to as a beautician. So the fantastic thing is that our products prove themselves. We don't need to convince anybody. All we need to do is let them try it. But what I'm going to teach you about tonight, hopefully you'll learn for your benefit. You only need to mention this or utilize this when a situation arises. But other than that, really, it's just your own personal testimony of your belief. Okay, so let's get started. So we actually have 4 types of skin. Everybody does. Everyone on this call tonight will either have a T-zone area that's oily, or they might be completely dry on their whole skin. These are the ones. You've got oily, combination, normal and dry. They pretty much speak for themselves. An oily skin, obviously you'll have that oil residue you can see on the skin easily. If you've got a T-zone area that's oily, your pores might be larger. You may feel that it feels oily through that area. If your skin's normal, it'll feel normal. If it's dry, it'll feel dry, and sometimes even quite callous and harsh, because dryness obviously loses its moisture, and with that becomes harder skin. So they're pretty self-explanatory, and I'm sure you're all aware of those ones. This is where the difference comes in. With all of the 4 areas we just talked about, oily to normal combination, normal and dry, we can have those symptoms, that skin condition, with a problem like acne, sensitivity, obviously photoaging, which is all done with sun damage, pollution and other things we come in contact with, and we can all have wrinkles. So we're going to be able to tonight hopefully learn how we can look after these skin conditions, along with balancing out our skin, which we have, whatever we are. So let's talk about the skin first, because I think if we can understand a bit more about the skin and how our products amazingly work, you'll understand a bit more when talking to somebody that may have a concern that you need to address. So I'm only going to be talking about the epidermis, the dermis, and the basal line tonight, because I believe they're the main ones we need to talk about. This epidermis layer, and particularly the upper layer, is often referred to as the hornier layer. So I'm sure none of you girls will forget that now that you've heard it. That particular layer of skin still has a very important role to play. With the products that are on the market today, they are full of animal fat, petroleum, lanolin, and beeswax. You might think, well, so what? What happens with that? Well, it is like putting Glad wrap over your skin. And the epidermis has to tell the dermis what it needs, because in here is where you've got your oil and water pathways. This is where your collagen, your elastin is all formed. If it's not getting a signal, then guess what? This layer up here isn't getting fed. And this is the layer that we see. So our texture and our moisture is shown in this epidermis layer. Our products travel way down here to the basal line. What that means is that the delivery system that we have with the beautiful botanicals are able to feed that cell right down where the cells are actually producing and coming up to the epidermis layer, all the vitamins, antioxidants, everything it needs to support that collagen and elastin, which gives us that youthful look. So this is why I believe Arbonne will never be outdone. They're constantly improving and they're cutting edge on performance and they're result driven. So we're always going to have a market that wants our products. And that's really exciting for us as business builders. So dermis, we don't interfere with. Our products don't go down there, and that's wonderful. They only stay within these epidermis layers as far as the basal line. And this area here is where we want to feed and give back to the skin. So the main thing that our skin does is it's turning over those dead skin cells. Now those cells only come off every 28 days. And in 28 days, as we age, which I'll talk a little bit more about later, we're having more and more cells dying off. And our products, particularly the Genius and some of the other intelligent range products, will take off those layers so that what we're left with is a nice, healthy cell. That's what our products will do for us. If you have any questions, feel free to write them down and we'll address them at the end. So I want to talk about acne because I believe that's probably the biggest problem that we come in contact with people is their skin problems like acne. And acne can occur from a young teenager right through to someone in their later going through menopause. They might get rosacea acne. And so we want to be able to know what we can offer them and what's the best thing for them. So just to identify what acne is, and there is some information on this sheet that you've probably already been reading while I'm talking. We can get a mild acne, which is just the odd pimple here and there and a little bit of congestion in the pore, which would be a blackhead or whitehead, any of those little bumps that appear under the skin. That's all to do with our sebum or our sebaceous glands that produce the oil and bring it up. And that could be caused from hormones, it could be caused from a bad diet, it could be caused from a lot of different things. So what we can do is give them the clear future, which I'm going to talk about shortly. The one that I want to just quickly address is when the acne is severe, when you're getting those really big lumps that are way down. They call it cystic acne, and it's starting way down at the bottom of the cell. Our products will help assist on the epidermis, as we talked about, but it cannot do deep enough to change that cell in the cystic form. So when we're referring our products to clients, please make sure we don't promise them something we can't deliver. We are best to always just talk about what our products can do, and if necessary, suggest they go and see a doctor. There are things that they can do, antibiotics, even a mild pill to help some girls with their hormones. They do all sorts of things that they have out there, but I'm going to share with you some wonderful things that we can do for those with acne. Even if they're severe, we can say, look, let's help the inflammation and the swelling on the surface and certainly tone down some of that redness. But I suggest you do this alongside seeing a doctor. Just don't promise them anything we can't deliver. Okay, let's talk about this clear future. Now, I'm not going to go into the nitty-gritties of what's in them, only just to say that the main difference between ours and anybody else's is we're not about bleaching and stripping the oil from the skin. We're about helping to stabilize the bacteria on the skin surface. That's another thing about this epidermis layer. It has bacteria on it. And if it's not stable, if our oil glands are producing too much sebum to the top, then that pore becomes inflamed and sore and the bacteria level isn't right and it goes down into that pore looking for a normal cell. And in doing so, it causes inflammation right around this aggravated pore until it becomes a pimple. So what we want to do is stabilize that, and Arbonne are amazing. They really do think of everything. Using beautiful botanicals, they're able to produce the salicylic acid, which is something we naturally do ourselves, but it produces more for those that are having excessive oil flow or congestion in their pores. And the salicylic acid stabilizes the bacteria on the skin surface and allows the skin to become normal again. But it isn't an overnight success. It takes time, just as it takes time for all of those cells to come up. Do you know that it's actually, and I'm really glad Arbonne give a 45-day money-back guarantee, because it actually takes from 20 to 42 days for those cells to do their process and change. So it takes 42 days to see a reasonable change, because that's how long it takes for those cells to change. So Arbonne giving a 45-day money-back guarantee know that they need to give people at least those 42 days to get their skin to actually see a change. So let the person know that you recommend them to, that their skin may appear to be worse before it gets better, because depending where that congestion is, it's got to come out. If it's lower down, can somebody mute? I don't know, we're getting a lot of banging going on. The cell needs to stabilize, and so it's going to take that time, that between 20 to 42 days. And in that process, if it's up near the surface in the epidermis layers, it's got to come out. If it's under and it's down in that new skin that we talked about, it will go back through the body and be digested that way. So we need to let them know that they will see an improvement, but it will take time. And to be patient and be consistent, and they will see results. I won't go into all of the other ingredients, but be, for yourself, if you'd like to know more, you can print off this book and read it, because cover to cover you will know as much as I do as a beautician. I can tell you their knowledge that they give you is equivalent to what I spent years learning about. So they have really got the information there if you want it. Okay, don't forget to write questions if you have any. I'm more than happy to answer them later. Now, with sensitive skin, we're not born with sensitive skin. That's something that we have happened to us over a period of time using skincare, nutritional foods, or whatever it is that's caused sensitivity to our skin. I personally don't recommend the calming range to very many people at all, but I do have that skill of being to reassure them that whatever I recommend, that it will work, and they just need to be patient with that changing of their cells. But for everybody else out there, Arbonne's come up with a calming range so that you can feel comfortable in recommending this and know that a sensitive skin will be soothed and calmed and be able to stabilize, so that they can then go on to the RE9 or the intelligence range or whatever else they want to achieve to get the look that they're after with their skin. So the calming range does have a place in our market because of that, and I know that sometimes even myself can recommend, look, I think you should try this, but they'll say, oh no, I'm very sensitive, I can only use the sensitive range. And you know what, the customer's always right. So okay, let's start you on the calming range, but it's up to them to decide, and you can just give them the information necessary. Okay. We're going to listen to a conversation. Okay, Fresh Cellular 5. I love these products. The FC5 range is made up of fruit and vegetables, and all of them are amazing. So kiwi fruit, strawberry, carrot, mango, pumpkin. So they're the 5 main ingredients, which are full of antioxidants, which are full of vitamins, which is full of lots of goodness. Who's talking? Okay, so the FC5 range is wonderful for young skins. Anybody can use it, and I certainly use some of the range along with my RE9, but it's designed for young people because it keeps the skin where they're at. When you're older, like myself, heading towards 60, we want to actually return those cells, recover the damage that was done through sun and all the things that happens to the skin. So we want the RE9, but for somebody that's young, they're happy, their cells are beautiful, they're replacing quickly, and so the FC5 range is brilliant at maintaining, keeping them where they're at. So I love all of the range. The two that I would recommend that we use, or there's more probably, but two that I would use along with others is the beautiful cellular scrub. It's a wonderful exfoliant. Now you can introduce that within your RE9 range. It's up to you what you choose to do with that. The only people that can't use the cellular scrub is somebody with active pimples, because again, that bacteria is not stable, and because the scrub is designed to cut away the dead cells, it would take that bacteria that's unstable around that pimple and spread it to another area and to another area, and so you would actually be increasing the problem with their skin. So that's why the Clear Future has the lovely exfoliating pads with the salicylic acid in to stabilize the skin and to gently take away those dead cells without spreading or cutting the skin. So I love the scrub, and I think the masks are fantastic. The deep pore mask, if you have large pores through the T-zone area, if you're oily through there, that mask is amazing. The hydration mask, great to pop on your skin and sleep in it. It's a wonderful treatment. So you can utilize all of those FC5 ranges along with the range that may suit your age bracket as well. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the aging process, because I think this sometimes we don't really fully understand. Pretty much from the age of 20 right through till we die, our skin's cells are changing and dying off. In fact, every 6 years, our skin thins 6%. Maybe every 10 years it's 6%, that's what it is. Every 10 years it's 6% thinning. So if you have a look at this 20-year-old skin, you can see here in the dermis, which is where all the collagen, the elastin is formed, these little stripy lines here. In fact, if you were to look at them, they kind of look like little masses of balls in the cell underneath. They are thick and full and strong, so when you pinch the cheek bounces back really quickly, and that's good collagen elastin. And you can see that the vessels to those tissues are very thick, nice and healthy, lots of oxygenation and lots of circulation, and it's just a healthy cell. When you get into your 30s, it's starting to break down that collagen, the elastin, and in your 40s, definitely, and way in the 50s and above, you've got very few pieces of collagen and elastin that are supporting and strengthening the skin. Now, this is where our Arbonne products come in and our intelligence range comes in. It is the perfect formula to restore that damage and give you back not so much a 20-year-old if you're in your 50s, but definitely 30s and 40s, because it can only repair what you have already, increase what you have. It can't put back what's been taken away, but it can strengthen what's left and give it a lot of more strength. So one of the major skin problems that we have, of course, is that collagen and the elastin deterioration. Now, I'm going to tell you some facts that you may not be aware of. 10% of our aging is genetics, biologically based. 90% of it is environmentally based. So that's good news for us, because that means we can actually improve. And the main source of problems is the sun. Now, you just have to look at a piece of your body that hasn't been in the sun, and you'll see those cells look much more healthier. So if you can imagine sun-damaged area, you're going to then damage that cell, and let's just say for the pigmentation, we have age spots come up. What's an age spot? An age spot is where the melanin, that's the one that goes into the skin cell that gives us our colour, and that protects our skin against the sun. That melanin, or melange site, is like a long arm, and it goes through these cells, and if the cell is not normal, it can keep dropping melanin into that cell. Or if you've got a white area of skin where there's no more pigment, Same thing, the cell's damaged and it doesn't allow the melanin in to cover it and give it the coating of pigment. Either one, it's a cell that's damaged. Our RE9 and our Genius allows the skin cell to normalise so that when the Malang-Alang site comes along to drop in melanin, if the cell was not normal before and melanin was allowed to drop in, it won't allow it to go in anymore. So the difference between our products and what's on the marketplace, which is dermabrasion and laser and freezing off, burning off, cutting off cancer cells, all of those things that are topically done, or even bleaching the skin, they're all only superficial. They're only working in this epidermis layer. But our products are traveling down to where they're going to make a difference at that basal line and repair the damage to that cell so that no more melanin can drop in, and so that cell's then normalized. And the main ingredient that normalizes cells is vitamin A. Now there's different forms of vitamin A, and the one that we use is retinoids. And the retinoids is very strong and it really is amazing at stabilizing our cells. So we have a real advantage over anything else on the marketplace. And that's exciting. It's really exciting. So I hope you're learning a little bit about that aging process and the collagen elastin. So let's talk about our beautiful intelligence range. This is second to none. Absolutely is a genius. The word is perfect for it. We have, all of them are amazing, but tonight I'm mainly going to talk about the Genius and about the beautiful nourishing skin oil. So the Genius, as I mentioned before, it has high doses of retinol, which is your vitamin A, which actually stabilizes the cells. Now, we recommend that we use it as our part of our nightly routine. So we cleanse, we would use our Genius pad in a circular motion all over our whole face, our neck area and our décolletage and the back of our hands. One Genius pad a night has more than enough for all of those areas. And what the Genius does is it stabilizes your cell so that any abnormal cells that have been formed by sun will be stable. Now, in saying that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the sun that we have here in Australia. We have UVA, B and C rays that damage our cells. If you think of the A as burning, sorry, A as aging, B is burning, and C cellular damage. Write that down. A is aging, B is burning, and C is cellular damage. We are getting all three rays penetrating through our cells. The wonderful thing about our skincare range is that we do have sun protection in our day creams and in our skincare, in our foundations, which is actually 20 SPF, but we say 15 here in Australia, and it doesn't really matter. That's just a time thing. But that means that we use a pure zinc oxide, which is a large molecule that sits on top of the skin. And when those sun rays hit down, those UVA, B and C's, instead of it being able to travel deep down into the cell and cause cellular damage, it disperses it over the skin and stops it from being able to travel so deep. So that reflects, if you can imagine that, like opaque light coverage that actually reflects the ray across the skin rather than down. That's what we have in our skincare range, which protects the skin, which is amazing. So at night, if we do our nightly resurfacing pads, we're going to repair those cells that have been damaged in past and then protect them with our creams, with our SPF after that, which is amazing. I think that's all I really need to tell you about that. You can read up more about them if you want to know more. Okay, our nourishing facial oil. Absolutely love this. Now, you probably think it's oil. It should only be used on dry skin because they must need their oil. Well, that's a fallacy. Everybody needs this oil. And oils just ain't oils. This oil is designed to actually help our collagen and elastin, help our hydration of the cells. It's got everything in it to actually give us what our bodies need. Now, I don't know if you know much about omega-3. Maybe you've heard about it for joints pain, because it's really good for inflammation in the joints. But omega-3 and omega-6 is what we're lacking. And often as women, we cut out our fats. We want to lose a bit of weight, we cut out fats, but we cut out our good and our bad. And those essential fatty acids are extremely important. They actually help the lipids within the cell to hold the moisture. And that's what causes the lubrication. That's why it's really good for your joints, because the same thing, it helps hold that moisture in those cells around those joints. So this is designed for every skin type. Oily, dry, normal, combination, everybody can use this skin oil. And it will definitely help to repair the damage and to protect those lipids and help that moisture to give our skin that soft, supple look that we all want to achieve. So this is a wonderful cream, wonderful oil. We do not want to be going without it. If you haven't got one, get one. And if you haven't shared it with your customers, share it, because this is a winner, a really good one to have. Okay. Leaving the best till last, our RE9 range. Our RE9 range, as I mentioned before, is the best in the world. And as you can see on here, it talks about the RE9 Advantage solutions, because it has 9 skin healthy needs. It meets from rejuvenating, restoring, refreshing, re-energizing, revitalizing, reacting, recovery, refreshing, giving amazing results. All of those things are happening to our cells because of the RE9 range. And it's their balance of ingredients that they have, particularly high in vitamin C, which is amazing for your collagen, that actually helps, again, build that strength in the cellular wall so that we get the best look. So, for instance, my skin looks better now, and I'm nearly 60, than it did when I was in my 40s. So you can see that I've actually, in the last 5 years, instead of aging 5 years, I've actually lost maybe 10 years off my skin because of these amazing products. So you want those results. You want to be able to see your skin improving and repairing, and it speaks for itself when you use it. Okay, down the bottom here you can see that we've got the contouring and shaping eye cream and day cream. Now, anybody can use that as well. Now, the RE9 is designed to turn back that aging clock, and from the age of 20 onwards, your skin's aging. So I'm happy for anyone from the age of 20 to use the RE9. Why not get the best product on their skin and allow their skin that collagen and elastin that they have, which is more than what we have, or my age anyway have? They can keep that forever while they're using the RE9. That's going to continue to strengthen that cellular wall and consistently help that collagen and elastin. They will actually keep a very, very good skin. The one thing I remember from GTC was seeing these amazing women that have been using Arbonne for 20 years, 25 years. They look good. They look really good. And they're using these amazing products just like you or I. Now, the one for contouring and shaping, that's obviously for lifting the skin. And I talked about the collagen, the elastin that deteriorates. They're 2 products that I love using because it does help lift that skin and support the skin. So I love the contouring and shaping advanced RE9 eye and day cream, which you can introduce to your clients if you haven't already. Lucky last, this is my absolute favorite product. Now I'm going to show you mine because I've got it here. Not the new one that Arbonne, sorry, I'm getting you all excited about the Arbonne one. This is my sonophoresis Doppler that I use in my salon. About 10 to 15 years ago, it was brought into salons to use. In the past, we only had what they call negative and positive charge, or ion-ons. which is like a charge of negative down through the cell, which is kind of like causing like a V and allows that product to travel further down. And then they realized that there was a gentler way of doing it through sound waves. And so the sound, if you've ever had an ultrasound, and I'm sure if anyone's had a baby, you've had an ultrasound, they use a similar one to this, and the sound wave bounces off the baby and actually gives you an outline of what the baby looks like and what the baby's got going on. Well, that same sound wave is what they use to infuse the product deep down into the skin. Arbonne they are amazing. They have come up with a handheld, rechargeable ultrasound infusion that you can use on a daily basis to infuse those products, the beautiful Arbonne products that are natural, that are working right down to that basal line, and pushing that product down quicker to get a quicker result. And those that have used them or got them already, they're incredible, the pictures you see. And that's what we can get, and I should be getting mine very soon. I can't wait till it gets here. Now, if you have a look on the instructions, the features it talks about, it says that you're getting approximately 300,000 waves per second. That's a lot. That's an incredible amount of vibration, wave sounds traveling down into the cells of the skin. The great thing about this particular machine is it's got a timer on it. That means you know exactly how long you need for that level of vibration to travel down and push that product to where it needs to go. So it's 1 minute on one eye, 1 minute on the other eye, 1 minute around the lip, 1 minute on the lines on your head, or for me, I've got these creases here, 1 minute on those little lines there. Wherever your problem area is, maybe it's the large muscle here. This muscle for me has deteriorated and I want to strengthen that up. So I certainly will be using it through this cheek area here. This is the larger muscle. It's timed for you. It's beautiful. It's amazing. So you can use those 1 minute intervals for each part of the body that you need to do, or skin on the face. It will work on anything. If you've got the beautiful detox range, and you have cellulite, you can use it on your thighs and get rid of the cellulite, or wherever your cellulite is. Same thing, that vibration, that high frequency sound wave travels down into that cell and gets that action happening. It will soften and strengthen and support and repair all of those things that we want for our skin. So I'm very excited about that one. So if you haven't ordered yours already, get online and order it now, girls, because they are selling out faster than they can make them. But it's amazing. Well, that's the end of my presentation. I hope that you got some information that was useful for you. Now, I'm happy to do questions and answers, because I know that people probably have questions, and I'll do my best to answer them for you.
Thank you, Sandra. That was great. Do you want to just stop the screen share so we can see everyone's faces larger? That was amazing.
Sure. Okay, I can do that.
Can I actually start with some questions?
Yes, you may.
Okay, great. So with the, I can't wait for that Ultra to arrive as well. And I also think that's a really good tip, Sandra, if you haven't ordered one or even a couple of them, I would do it straight away, because the moment everyone starts getting them in Australia, all the consultants, they are going to be doing Ultra parties, Ultra demonstrations. The PCs, and everyone's going to start ordering theirs. It's going to boost that volume of sales. And I would say that probably by the time everyone starts receiving their Ultras, within a couple of, probably even a week or a couple of weeks, that next delivery date, I would predict, is going to be next February, March. So you don't want to just sit and go, I'm going to do my Ultra parties, like in a month's time. You need to be getting it out straight away and saying to people, put your order in right now. The day you get them, you want to be going around and showing people. So 2 questions. I can't wait to use it with all. I know it's going to work brilliantly with all the RE9 products, Sandra, because I tried that in Vegas. But what product would you suggest for the detox products, the sea source detox products, like for your bum and thighs?
Yes, definitely.
But
which one?
Which specific product?
Okay. Well, I would probably use I'd use the oil. I'd use the oil because it's really going to push that oil deeper down. I would use pretty much any of them you wanted to. You could use the 24-hour moisture and push that down further. There's not any one detox range that doesn't work on drawing out those toxins and replacing those minerals that it so desperately needs. Our copper, zinc, magnesium, all those vital sea oils, minerals, we need them. Our skin needs them. And so that will definitely support the collagen, the elastin within the cells of the skin, and you'll see results.
Great.
So that beautiful firming cream we have, that will definitely infuse beautifully deep down in the cell.
So I was going to ask that as well, because I did see some before and afters with someone using the body firming cream on their thighs with the Ultra. But for the neck and the décolletage, because I'm always lathering there like so much, do you think that the firming body cream or the neck cream works better on the décolletage? And what would work for the Ultra?
Okay, it depends what your circumstance is. For me, I don't have any lines there now. I used to have, you can see them now, but I used to have a very large V-shaped damaged cells all through here. And because of that, it was uneven skin tone and it was creasing. So when I'd go to sleep at night, my breasts would line together and I'd wake up in the morning and I'd have all these creases up my chest. The firming body cream is amazing for that. For my neck, I've lost some weight and so my neck's thinner. I had a long neck, and so I can see those little tiny lines there. So I've been using the neck cream on that. But there's no reason why you can't put a coating of neck cream and then the firming body cream over the top, because they all work.
I do actually do that. I do 3 layers. I do the Genius Body Booster, then the neck cream, and then the firming body.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're going to have amazing neck and décolletage area, because all of those things are amazing. There is no wrong or right, really. All of the products work, so it's just a matter of what suits you. But I do recommend the firming body cream a lot to ladies that have a lot of lines around their neck and décolletage area, because it is cost effective. It's a large tub. And again, our products are extremely concentrated, and because they're so pure, you only need a small amount. It goes a long way. So they get good value out of that. So it's up to you and your client to which one they prefer.
Thank you. Okay, I'll let someone else ask a question now.
Hi, Sandra. It's Annie here. I've got a quick question about when I'm at workshops with teenagers or mums and teenagers, and the girls have, some pimples, but when do you go from offering like a 14 to 18-year-old teenager to go from FC5 oily combination to clear control? What's the sort of
the Clear Future? I actually combined them. So I had a girl the other day that had a lot of oil, so I actually gave her the oily cleanser toner in one, because with the Clear Future, and if anyone's got someone with skin condition problems, initially they appear more oily than they do dry. And so because these products are designed to actually help that body clear out. So what I did was I sold her 2 cleansers, one of the Clear Future and one of the beautiful FC5, because I wanted her to use the FC5 one in the day so that she didn't look as oily during the day, but then use the Clear Future at night, because it doesn't matter, she's sleeping. So, you can use a bit of this and a bit of that and just have a play with it. But I think the Clear Future is definitely, the whole range works efficiently for someone who's got really acne skin. But someone who's just got the T-zone area oily, I use a bit of both. Because like the beautiful set of the cleanser and toner and mattifying powder and day lotion, I would probably sell that for them for their daily routine, and then the Clear Future for their night routine, for clearing their skin. Or I might use the blemish clear lotion and the pads, so they're getting an exfoliation as well out of the Clear Future and the other range. You can mix and match. Our products all work synergistically together because they're all based on those beautiful botanicals, so you can mix and match.
Thank you.
That's okay.
Can I add to that, Sandra?
You can.
Sorry, I'm in my nightgown here, so I'm looking beautiful.
We can only see your face, so that's all good.
So that's I've got a 16-year-old who was using the detox range. She was using, this is all for pimples. What was the one before the Clear Future? The grey.
Oh, the Clear Control.
Clear Control, and also the sensitive range. And I can say from experience, the Clear Future has been a godsend to her. She actually now, she's 16, she will wear no makeup, and you know how funny they get without, with covering their pimples. She swears by it, so she will use it morning and night, all 4 products. I believe it's the pads as well, which has done a great job. And now my 13-year-old son is coming out with little pimples, and we've put him straight on the Clear Future. So I can vouch for how amazing it's been, and I brag about it at workshops, and it's my #1 seller to the teenagers. And I would recommend it from 13 and up.
That's fantastic. Have you introduced the Genius at all to any of these skin problems?
I haven't to my daughter because she was younger, but because the pads have come out in the Clear Future, and she had mild blemishes, it's not acne. So I didn't, when she did use the Clear Control, it did actually dry out her skin a lot. So we had to go and get the skin conditioning oil because it actually made it worse than better. So from experience,
improve the Clear Future.
Yeah, #1.
What you're saying is exactly right. The Clear Control was very drying on the skin, and so that's why they brought out the Clear Future. They popped in some more vitamins to actually hydrate the skin and help the lipids, because even though someone's oily, they're often dehydrated. And I talked about that dermis. In that dermis, you've got your oil and water pathways. Now, oil sits on water. If your water table is low, your oil's going to be increasing. If they're stripping down or repairing that oil and your water flow is still low, you're going to be very dry. So what they've done with our Clear Future is help that oil, that hydration, and help the oil so they come and sit well together, and you're not diminishing the oil and still have your water table low. Does that make sense? So they're actually helping the hydration of the skin as well as the oil with the Clear Future now. So that's why sometimes they will appear to be more oily for a little bit, because they're helping the water table increase and it's pushing that oil away. So they just got to ride through that. But you're right, they get balanced skin in the end and incredible results with the Clear Future. And I've seen it myself. And I've had a client who had really bad acne around her jawline and on her chin, so bad it looked like she had 2 different faces. And now she's got perfect skin and there's no scar tissue at all, which is pretty impressive for the Clear Future range. I do introduce the Genius if they've got really bad skin, because that helps exfoliate, and the vitamin A, just like if you went and saw a skin specialist for acne, they would put them on Roaccutane as a last resort, because it's very dangerous, high doses of vitamin A internally, which thins out the skin and it causes all sorts of other problems. But at the same time, that high dose of vitamin A stabilizes their sebaceous glands, and so that acne is improved. So if you can treat that topically using our beautiful Genius pads, they're getting their dose of vitamin A and they're still getting their clear skin through their Clear Future. So that is a definite for someone who has reasonable amount of acne. I would recommend the Genius as well as the Clear Future.
Thank you.
Sandra, hi.
Sorry, you go.
Hello. Megan, you're on.
You go, Megan.
I just wanted to ask, sorry, just with that the nourishing oil, like where do you use that in the, like if someone's bought the RE9, how do you suggest they use that in the process? Because sometimes I think women find they've got so many creams, where do I put this one?
Okay.
So what's your suggestion there?
If you go onto the source, they actually have a list of which way and where it fits in, but I think it's best to put on after your serum. So if you're going to use the oil after the serum, I use the oil day and night. Some just use it at night, and it really is a personal preference. But if you do want to use it in the daytime, use it after your serum. If you're going to use it at night, I use it after my Genius nightly resurfing pads. So it's up to you.
Oh, thank you.
But you can find that on the source. It does have a list of where to put it. And you can even get a picture, which will be really good to show people. So it's a good visual.
Okay, great.
Sophie, thanks so much, Megan.
Firstly, that was really great. Thank you for explaining that in plain English. And secondly, I can't believe you're nearly 60 because you look incredible. So get whatever she's...
Arbonne.
Never heard of it. Hey, one of the main questions, or one of the main challenges, I suppose, I come across, it doesn't happen all the time, but when someone tries a sample of RE9, or maybe they've been using, a tote bag, and they get a reaction or they get a breakout, and we talk about, the skin goes through a detox period. Can you help us with how, or what we should do when that happens to reassure the client or to, help get them through that point?
Okay, I think the best thing is to address it prior to them even starting on it. So when I drop off a product or give a sample, I will say the difference between our products and anything you've used in the past is it's not just sitting on the surface and looking pretty. This is working down and making a difference at a cellular level. Because of that, you are going to have active skin. So it's not going to be putting it on and not feeling it. You will feel heat as it generates down, depending on what your skin's lacking. You may feel red, hot, or even irritated skin. You might even feel a bit sore for a few days. But I promise you it's worth the effort, because it's getting your skin to do the job it's meant to do and work for the first time, because it's just been coated in the past. So if you educate them a little bit on what is happening to their skin, then they won't be worried and they won't be alarmed. And then they may not get it. Like I dropped off one the other day and the girl said, gee, I didn't get any sensation and my skin felt amazing. I said, wonderful. I said, that's so good. It means your skin's really taken to it like duck to water. It's perfect. It's continuing to do the job. I said, but I know when I did the eye cream, my eyes went red. I could almost see where I patted it on, but I had very dehydrated eyes. And that's what was a selling point for me starting Arbonne, because for me to see a reaction as far as it actively doing something, that impressed me. So I saw a change in my eyes. So be honest that could happen. It may or may not, but if they're aware that may be the case, then they're not going to be surprised and they're not going to be concerned, because it's not necessarily reacting, it's just actively doing something for the cell. In saying that, some people may react. They may be allergic to something within the natural range. Doesn't mean that doesn't happen. A reaction usually happens within the first 24 hours. It's not usually instant. Like our active ingredient is instant. You instantly feel the heat in your skin or you instantly go red. But when you have a reaction, it usually happens after 24 hours, because that's how long it takes for your body to go, hang on a minute, I'm not happy about this. And then it starts to show through, irritated skin in some way. So I think you've just got to play it by ear, and always, the client's always right. So if there's a problem and they're not happy about it, then introduce them to the calming range, or introduce them to the FC5, or whatever else you can give them that they will feel more comfortable with until they're ready.
What about when they get a breakout? Like, as in, we talk about the skin goes through a detoxing period.
Yeah. Well, if it definitely gets a breakout, depending on, now this is very important you understand this, our RE9 is so active with the vitamin C. That's what its main focus is, to work on the collagen and the elastin, and vitamin C is the best thing for that. And you just have to smell it to smell that C's in there. So if they've got a bit of a problem skin naturally, their sebaceous glands are going to be going, whoa, what's going on here? And it actually does stimulate the sebaceous gland, because when your collagen and elastin's forming, remember I talked about that dermis, it's trying to stabilize those things. So they may actually just get a little bit of a breakout until their body does what it's meant to do and get the collagen, elastin and everything under control, and then it won't be so active anymore and they'll be fine. So they've just got to ride it through.
So it's not necessarily detoxing and getting rid of things built up under the skin, or it is?
It could be already there under the skin and it's just bringing it out. Yes, definitely can cause that. But it also can cause pimples if they haven't had them for, maybe they haven't suffered with pimples in the past, but all of a sudden they do. But it just means their body's not balanced, that's all. So it will go, they will be able to ride through it. And it's worth riding through it. I've actually seen ladies that have underneath their skin, if you feel it, you can't see them so much, but if you feel their skin, they got lots of tiny little bumps. And it's actually their oil glands are not functioning properly. They're not cleaning out, they're doing the job they're meant to. So that will happen, and they could get a little bit of, as we talked about before, once that oil comes to the surface, that pore gets aggravated and the bacteria on the skin surface is trying to stabilize, and so it travels back down that pore that's been congested and it wants to find normal cells, and so then it aggravates all around it, and that's what causes a pimple. So that pimple is only superficial. It's just an aftermath of their bacteria not being stable, and it'll settle, you know what I mean? Like it can recover.
Great. Can I ask one quick one? Again, Vitasphere technology, is that just RE9 or is that all of our products?
I'm pretty sure it's all of our products because it's a technology of where they're able to take that beautiful botanical ingredient and encapsulate it in its own little sphere so that it's not needing formaldehyde and other nasty preservatives to preserve that nutritional value of that plant. It's then able to be, through the friction as we rub it in, rupture and travel down into where it's meant to go. I couldn't see why they would just do it in one range and not the rest. So I'm assuming it's in all. But I won't know, I don't know for fact, but I would assume they would use the same technology.
Thank you.
It's okay. Any other questions?
Yeah, Sandra, can I follow on from that Vitasphere technology question? When you showed the picture of the skin with the epidermis layer, the dermis layer under that, was that blood vessels that went into that?
In the skin picture,
Yeah.
There are blood vessels that do go in there.
So when they talk about nanosphere technology and they talk about other products, how they go into the blood, is it just going down further than our product, or is it going way past the skin?
I can talk to you about the nano. We don't do anything nano. Nano is where, if you can imagine, everything's made up of atoms and so they're all molecules of some sort. They actually shatter the natural molecule of a plant or zinc or whatever it is they're using, shatter it to such a state that it's minute, so minute that it can travel past our normal barrier of protection within the skin and travel down and get into our bloodstream. We don't do that with our product. We're using a whole plant, the whole, I guess, benefit of that cell, not breaking that cell down, and so it can only penetrate down and get down to that basal line. Where the basal line is, it's all those cells to the basal line are actually all dead cells. The live cells are under in the dermis, and we don't interfere with the dermis at all. We don't need to. The dermis, has its own role to play. It doesn't. I've just got to plug in my. Must have unplugged it. Sorry. Okay. My computer was telling me it was flat, and I'm like, hey, I just need to plug it in. Okay, yeah, so basically it doesn't interfere with anything like that, and we don't have any nanofears. In fact, they've now, it's illegal now. I mean, they know more about it, and they certainly have stopped it. I'm sure there's companies still out there doing it, but they're not meant to be.
Perfect, thank you. And I just have one other question. With the nourishing oil,
yes.
Can you still, I know that you're saying that they're good oils, but would you still recommend that for somebody that has oily skin?
Definitely. In fact, it'll improve them because these oils are actually the good oils that they're lacking, and it'll actually help their lipids. I don't want to get too complicated because obviously I was trying to make it simple for you, but each cell has a moisture padding, if you'd like to think of it like that, and they're called the lipids. And those lipids actually become quite dry out when there's too much oil flow around it. So these beautiful essential oils actually help the lipids to be hydrated and more moisture. So then the oil doesn't, it's not getting sticky and trapping together. If you ever look at a clogged pore, it's often formed because everything's stuck together. It's like it's all become sticky, you know, and it all sticks. And so, well, by using this beautiful oil, it releases that and allows it to become unstuck and actually helps clean out all that pore that's trapped, and the lipids all fill up healthy and strong, and it doesn't get sticky anymore. You know, they're not sticking together. If you think about it like that, it's the best way to explain it. I'm trying to make it simple.
Perfect, thank you.
That's okay.
Can I quickly ask, what's the difference between SPF 20 and 15? You said something about time.
Yeah. Okay, so in the normal, if say it takes you 5 minutes to go pink in the sun, then you have 5 times 15 before you have to reapply. So the Australian standard for sun protection, they wanted to keep it at 15 because it meant slip, slop, slap every 2 hours, because that's the average person would need to reapply. 20 just means that you have 20 minutes times 5 before you need to reapply. So it just means that people start to become complacent and go, oh, I've got my sun protection on for 4 hours, I don't need to worry, and the next thing they're very burnt. So if you get into a really good habit of, you know, reapplying every 2 hours, you're protecting your skin the maximum. So whether it's 15, 20, 30, 50, it really is only a time factor, from 2 hours to 3 hours to 4 hours to 5 hours, that you don't have to reapply. But ideally, the whole Australia's standard is that you try and remember to do it every 2 hours to give you maximum protection.
Thanks so much, Sandra.
That's okay.
Has anyone else got one more question for Sandra before we move on to the next thing? Great. Thank you, Sandra.
Excellent.
That was seriously fantastic. I just want to say one more thing. You said in the beginning something about RE9 being better than microdermabrasion. Would you say that to your clients when you're telling them that using the whole entire RE9 system together is better than salon treatments, including microdermabrasion and any sort of lasers they may have on their face?
I actually don't, because I don't want to have a conflict of interest and make people feel like, I mean, people get out there and have, you know, Botox injections, and they do all sorts of things to their skin. What I do encourage them to say is that all of those things that they use in the marketplace are all superficial. They're only working on the epidermis layer. Those cells underneath are still aging at the same rate that they were before. If they were damaged cells, they're still damaged cells. So our RE9 range is about restoring and repairing at a cellular level to repair and strengthen their cellular walls so that their cells will be youthful and young while they continue to use Arbonne. If they use any of those other means, they're only getting a quick fix that's going to return back to the damaged cell that's underneath, because that's all it can do. So we just want to educate them on the value of using a good skincare. And I think something we really need to bring home to people is, who would go out and buy a new dress and spend a couple of $100, maybe $400, maybe a new jacket, they really need one, they'll spend $600. Yet that jacket will go out of fashion and out of style and out of date and wear out, but their skin is with them forever. There is no second chance. There's nobody that's going to make a new face for Sandra, unless I go and get plastic surgery, and I don't want that. But you know what I mean? There's no real quick fix for me. If I want to look after my skin, it takes me investing in it. And I would rather invest in my skincare range than a new jacket, because this is going to be on me forever. So I think if we help people to see the value of investing in themselves, their skin is more important than clothing or new shoes or, you know, whatever else is out there in the marketplace. And everybody wants to look good. Well, you know what I mean?
And just one more thing, those fabulous collagen supplements, which I love.
Yes.
Can you just
I recommend you take. Okay, so that's working internally. Obviously, just like anything to do with your skin, a portion of that is obviously diet. So if you can have a supplement that's going to give you everything you need internally, then you're going to give your skin the best chance possible to do the job from the inside and the outside, them working together to give you the best results. So I definitely recommend them. Same with our nutritional range. I couldn't imagine not using them. They just make such a difference.
Great. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you. I'm sure everyone agrees that was amazing. So I'll give your voice a break now, and so everyone just clap, Sandra. Feel those hands. And what we'll do is go on, and anyone that wants to stay on, you're all welcome. That I will just chat for about another 20 minutes about just some numbers and stuff for this month. Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to stop this recording so we can keep